What's going on, guys? Caleb here, and in today's video, I'm going to cover how to set your agency apart in 2023 without having to make a crazy offer or a bigger guarantee just to sign on the wrong types of clients. I am pretty sick and tired of seeing the same offers, the same guarantees. I mean, you guys are doing the same strategies as everyone else. And no wonder why it is so much harder to sign on new clients, because if you thought that you could grow an agency past 50K a month, 100K a month, and copy and paste your way to that point, you're in for a ride. And in this video, if you actually want to set your agency apart and you want to build an agency the right way, I'm going to show you guys in this video how to actually set yourself apart and how to play what I call the long-term play. Now, this is not for you if you're looking for a shortcut, if you're a beginner, if you're not willing to put in the work, because this takes work. And if you do this, I promise you, you will see growth in your agency. All right. We've been able to scale our agency, our lead gen agency, that was a Cairo agency, past 50K a month. We work with 7-figure agencies, a handful of them. And I can tell you from experience, after doing acquisition for agencies for 5+ years, this is the way to do it. And so if you want to set yourself apart, you're serious about growing a real business, and you don't want to just be around for 1 year or 2 years, you want to be around for 5 years plus, then let's dive in. Okay. Like I said, there's a million so offers right now being pushed in the agency space. It's the same offer. And so if you want to scale past 50K a month, you have to take a different approach. Now, this new approach is going to help you to sign on the right types of clients without having to do any sort of guarantee. All right. So what we're going to cover here is the agency direction and why it's a dead end, what to do about it, how to build your agency for the long term. We're going to talk about the value-based funnel and how to scale past 50K a month so that we don't look like this guy. We do not want our heads to hurt when we're growing this agency. It should be smooth. It should be a fun ride. All right. This is what it's all about. And if you don't want to have a fun ride, you don't have to watch this video. All right. So the agency pitching game is dead. All right. This is what it feels like when you go into ad library and you're going through all the ads of people running ads. Everyone's running the same exact thing. I'm going to show you guys what the ads look like nowadays. All right. So here's my theory on why ad costs are going so high for agency owners. One is that there's no real value that's being provided in the marketplace. And it's no different than a wasteland with a bunch of junk. Let me ask you guys a question. If the only value that you provide in your agency is that you can slap on, not even provide or fulfill, but you could just slap on and just say the words of a better guarantee or better claim than the next agency owner, then are you actually providing real value in the marketplace? It's a serious question. If you don't have the answer to that question, then you need to think of what value do you actually provide, right? Most people can guarantee something. Anyone can slap on an offer, copy and paste an offer, but they don't realize that, number one, it attracts usually the wrong types of clients. Number two is that you're going to have to fulfill on that offer. And most times, most agency owners think of the short-term cash. They'll think of what offer can I get the most amount of sales with, but they don't think of an offer of what is the offer that I can fulfill the best and the most clients with, right? That's a better question, because that's what's going to get you paid, and that's what's going to get you to continue getting paid in the future. All right. So the question is, how do you actually set your agency apart from everyone else? All right. How do you actually set yourself apart? And it doesn't come from making any of these offers here, right? Guaranteeing leads, guaranteeing appointments, guaranteeing closes, pay per close models. None of that is going to land, and it's only going to set you maybe one step forward. All right. It's only going to get you a few wins, but you might have to take a couple of steps back because you start attracting the wrong types of clients, as well as having to fulfill on that offer is a whole different game. All right. And so it's a lot of noise that you're seeing in the market. So the question is, well, then what the heck do you do? And I'm going to give you some solutions here. All right. So we're going to break down a few things here. But one thing that I would start doing, if you want to set your agency apart, you want to start attracting the right types of clients, you want to get quality leads and more leads into your pipeline so that you can close more deals and get past 50K a month, you need to start breaking down case studies. And I don't mean a case study or a testimonial where you're on Zoom and it's like quick 2-minute, 1-minute testimonial from your clients. I am talking about actually breaking down how you get results for your clients, or even your clients breaking down how they got results with you. Right? Take a client that you have brought the best results for, right? So take the best case study and do your homework. Document every step that needed to happen for them to see results and leave nothing out. And when I mean nothing out, I mean nothing out. Include everything in that case study. Get it all into like a Google Doc like this and break it up into modules. Now, why would you do that? Right? Why would you do that? Well, let me ask you, which agency, if you were deciding to work with a company, would you decide to work with? Would you rather work with an agency A, that guarantees 20 patients in 30 days or your money back? So it's a great offer, right? And that's what their offer is, and they guarantee. But when you go on their website, you're checking it out, you're about to make a buying decision. There's only like 3 case studies, and they have nothing to show on their process. For example, I don't want to call this guy out. This is the only example I could find, but this is pretty good. But most people don't even have case studies. But this guy is he has 3 case studies, a big guarantee. You know, people are used to this. Your prospects are used to seeing this too many times. And so, there's no breakdown on the process. There's only like a few testimonials. And then when they watch a VSL, if there even is a VSL, which most times there's not, they're only disgusted by a 10-minute video where the VSL is just all about pain points and then pitching your services. Like, there's no value. And I'm always going to go back to this word value, because when you guys make content, when you guys are doing marketing in general, you need to think of how are you actually providing value. Don't think of how are you selling or how many sales are you getting or how many leads are you getting. Think of how much value are you providing in your marketing. If you just answer that question and you get in the habit of providing more value, providing more upfront, giving, serving, then what comes back inherently is going to be more leads, more sales, and more of the right clients. Okay, so that's agency A. That's the majority of agencies. That's 99% of agencies right now are doing this approach, right? Whereas if you had agency B and you decide to work with this company and they actually provide value and they actually break down their process and they can actually, before you even hop on a call with them, you can see and you can hear how they got the result, and you can see step by step what they did to get that result, right? It's no longer a guessing game. They're showing you step by step how they did it. They're also bringing in clients that they've helped to tell you exactly what they did. And so now it's just the proof is on the table. You just have to look at it. Now, would you respond better to that agency or agency A that's just making a better offer but has nothing to show you, right? And that's what I mean. This is my point, right? If I rather, and you take this right here, right? Going to the second example, I'd rather work with a company, and if a company can break down their mechanism and break down step by step and clearly outline how they got the result, holding nothing back, then I'm going to trust that company way, way, way more. All right. And most people can't get to that point because they don't get results like that for your clients. So if that's you, then you need to be watching a different video. You need to be watching a video on how to get results for your clients, because that's where it starts. That's the foundation of business. Once you figure that out, then you can watch this video. But if you already have a great case study, the first step is to break down your case study step by step and get obsessed with the mechanism. Get obsessed with the mechanism, right? So for example, if an agency that markets, instead of a big, bold claim or guarantee or offer, but they instead started to market their case study, which is how does MedSpa made $43,400 in under 80 days working with us using mechanism, ugly ad, and an AI appointment setter. Well, I am going to watch this video and I'm going to break down. And if this agency actually breaks down their entire process, which I'm going to show you guys an example of right now, right? And they break it down like this. Phase 1, they actually show the ad that they ran and they call it the ugly ad, right? They break down the picture and why they chose that picture. They broke down the copy and why the copy performed so well. They break down the offer and the different offers that they tested and what worked and what didn't work and why. And they gave the entire funnel and why they set up the funnel the way they did. Then going to phase 2, they show phase 2, converting the leads. And you actually break down the recorded calls. You actually post the recorded calls. You actually break down the follow-up and why you did the follow-up the way you did. You break down the numbers, right? What was the conversions? You break down the CRM and the softwares that you use to convert the leads. Then you move over to phase 3, the office visit. You show how they were greeted, how they were communicated, what scripts did they use, what pricing did they pitch, and then maybe even the recorded audio of the visit. And in phase 4, you can break down the economics, show them how you closed 42,000. What was the average deal size? How many cases did you close? What kind of cases did you close? Right? Breakdowns of every close. Right? If a company did this for free and publicly, and they showed their entire process, how much more willing would you be to hop on a call and become a lead? Probably a lot more willing, because this company understands something very crucial that's going to allow them to be there for the long term. And that is to give so much value and show literally everything, because that is your marketing. Your marketing is not a better offer. Your marketing is not a better guarantee. Your offer and your positioning in the market is how much value are you actually providing, and how are you displaying that value? Are you even giving the value, or are you holding everything back? Right? Because when you give, everything's going to come back. Right? So at the end of all this, who would be more believable? And even if you weren't to buy from them now, I bet you that hands over fist, the second agency that shows the entire process, they would have a solid pipeline of leads for new clients down the line. So whenever they come up with an offer, they'll always be remembered as that company that gave away so much value that when they do run a promotion or an offer, if they decide to do so, they're going to be able to get so many people to actually buy into the process. And this is what I mean by the long-term path. And so few people decide to take this role. But if you decide to take this path, I promise you, it is the long-term approach, and you will start to get people coming to you. All right, so moving on to that. So we have case studies, and then get obsessed with the way that you get results, and get obsessed with documenting the way that you get results. Once you have that down, you get clear on your messaging, right? And so it's not enough just to target only your niche. So if you're going after gyms, it's not enough just to call out gyms, right? Especially if you're looking to scale past 50K a month, it's better to get more specific on who you are helping within that niche, right? If you are looking to set yourself apart from the other people, from competitors, you must do what they're not willing to do, right? Which is to niche down. Right. I used to have this belief that if I niche down even more, I'll limit the number of people that I'm talking to, which is true. But the new belief is that if I don't niche down even more, then I'll be left talking to the wrong people and not attracting anyone as a result. Right. So you choose your problem. All right. And so my whole philosophy is that you can start specific. Then once you have exhausted that method or that niche, you can then start to branch out. Here's an example. We help roofing contractors get more sits and generate more leads. Very basic. And you're just saying that you're helping roofers. But what kind of roofers? What kind of situation are they in? What's the dream outcome for these specific roofers? Right? Not all roofers are the same. Right? Roofers that do a different type of roof have different problems than the other roofer. So if you talk to their specific problems, guess what? When your messaging hits these people, it will land even more, because you're not doing a broad messaging that applies to everyone. Right? If they felt like that message, when they read your marketing, was specifically meant for them, and even tailored down to the type of roofer that they are and the type of business that they're running and their exact current situation, then they're going to want to work with you. Right? If I call out every agency owner, then guess what? My message is not going to land. You're not going to listen to what I have to say and the value that I want to provide. But if I talk to people that are below 50K a month and they're between 10K a month and they want to scale past 50K a month, then that is a certain audience. And I know exactly what you guys are going through, because I've done my research and I was in that phase of going from 10K to 50K a month. And I've been able to help other clients do the exact same thing. So the problems that you guys have is different from any beginner that's below 10K a month or an agency that's above 100K a month. You guys see what I'm saying? It's different problems, same niche. Right? So you want to be able to niche down and find out what type of people within your niche do you want to serve, and how can you get more clear on your messaging. And this can go all the way back to your case studies. If you go back to your case studies, one of the best ways that you guys can define your niche is find out who you helped. Who was the best case study? Because most likely you already know how you helped that person get from A to B. Maybe you just weren't aware. And so you need to get very clear, go back to that client and ask them, where were you before I helped you get to here? And can you explain to me the best you can your situation when you were in point A? And that way you have a better understanding of that current situation and then how you helped them get to situation B. And that can literally be all of your marketing right there. That can be all of your marketing. That can do all the convincing as long as you get that process down and you get clear on your messaging. So here's another example. This person's running an ad and they're just calling out medical clinics, right? Medical clinics. What they could do is, this is very broad. What they could do is, they can change it up and say, what they could do is they could be a lot more specific and they could say medical clinics who are tired of being on the second page of Google or not showing up on the top 3 of Google, right? So this is talking to not just medical clinics, but medical clinics who are tired of being on the second page, right? Past the second page. And they're tired of it. They just want to get on the first page, right? That is a specific problem, and that's going way more deep. That's going to allow you to talk to the right types of people that you want to talk to and then actually help them with the solution, right? So for marketing to be more effective, be more specific, niche down even more. And when you have thought that you went niche down even more and get very clear on their specific pain points. You can't get clear unless you get clear on who you're targeting. And you need to get clear on who you're targeting by just going into the type of niche that you want to serve and then the problems within that niche, right? And make it vivid, make it very vivid where I read out the words and I can imagine the type of person that you're describing. Right? It's all about market research. Go deeper rather than surface, and then bring up problems that they weren't even aware of. If you can talk about problems that they're not even aware of, that's when you'll really start to talk to them, right? This is how you sting the market. Alrighty, guys. So for the last few points here, it's going to be make content. And ideally, you should have made content yesterday. Now, I don't know where we had this connotation as agencies where content is not important. But yet we see all the gurus and everyone doing content and we don't implement it with our niche. And I think a lot of the times as agency owners, we think that our industry or our niche won't watch our content, or we're not too knowledgeable in our content or in our niche to be able to drop content. But there's ways around that, and the biggest thing is that you just drop the content. Because when you drop content, people come to you. People start to digest your material. People start to actually listen to what you have to say. And when you have leads coming onto a sales call, they are warmed up because they have gone through content. If you don't have enough content, there's no way for you to be able to sell people when you're not on Zoom calls. And so the only way that you guys can sell right now, if you're not dropping content or not taking it serious, is when you are on sales call, when you are actually having talk time with the prospects. And most times you guys are not going to be able to do that. It's just not reasonable. And at scale, it's definitely not reasonable. And so the biggest game that you can play, and a long-term play it is content. Okay, but it's the biggest play that you guys can do. And the way that I shifted my mindset around this is that it's a 24/7 sales agent, which means that someone could watch 3 hours of my content and sell themselves without me having to do a single thing. This is what you can do with your prospects. And again, this is how you want to position yourself. Because when you have content compared to 25 other agencies that don't have content, you're going to be the one that they go to because you actually provided value. And also on top of that, they're the ones that have consumed 3 hours of your content. If other agencies don't have 3 hours of content, then there's no way they can even sell themselves on that company. And there's always this 7-hour rule, which this one says the marketing rule of 7. It takes an average of 7 interactions with your brand before a purchase will take place. My whole idea is 7 hours of content. So it takes 7 hours of content for someone to actually make a buying decision with you. And so if that's the case, how else are you going to sell somebody? Are you going to talk to them 7 hours, right? And then it's not always the case, right? But it helps. It's an asset. It moves everyone forward. And especially if you have a sales team or you plan on building a sales team, you want to make sure that you leverage their time. And one of the best levers that you can pull is founder-based content where you drop content, and then that bleeds into your entire sales team, your entire sales process, and your entire marketing as well. And it will compound over time. And the key thing here is that it's leveraged, right? So content is a long-term play. However, it's the biggest play that you can do. All the big players, you guys have seen it, Alex Hormozi, Ime Agazzi, Joel Kaplan, everyone is going hard on content. And there's a reason, because it works. All right, so they understand that the game is eyeballs. Don't half-life your paid ads, emails, outreach. All of these methods, even paid ads, is a half-life, right? Because once you stop doing paid ads, once you stop doing emails, once you stop doing outreach, guess what? You're left with what you built and an audience that you built. And if you haven't been dropping content, you haven't been providing value to the market, then you won't have built an audience and you won't have built an asset that's going to pay dividends for you in the future. Right? And so use these channels, use paid ads, use emails, use outreach to nurture your audience and get them into an audience so that you can own the audience, so that when things do go south or when there's a dry season, you can leverage the audience that you have and you can continue building goodwill, right? And it's leverage again. I make one video, I can go out to thousands of people. Whereas if you do sales calls, you have to reach 1,000 people. So you have to talk to 1,000 people to be able to make that impact, right? And so this is what's going to make you different. Having your company drop content, make founder-based content is what makes you different as a company, not a different offer or better guarantee or better mechanism. All right. And so that leads me to the next point and the last one here, which is for you to set yourself apart in your agency 2023, you need to provide the most value. And yes, you need to do it entirely for free. The mindset that I've been doing with this video as well is that I actually re-recorded this last half. Like you guys have seen the camera angles change. I changed it because I didn't like the last half of the video. I was like, no, this was me half-assing it. I'm going to record a better one. Let me make sure I'm in a right mind space and then re-record this. So this is me re-recording this because I want to provide value as well as possible for free. Why? Because value is the game. This is my plan for the next 5 years, and this is taken by Alex Hormozi. As humans, it is a law that we want to give to those who give to us. When I think of the people that have made the biggest impact in my life, all the mentors, all the friends, my family, it's all the ones who have provided me with so much value, and they never ask for anything in return. That has always left an impact on me, and I always will be willing to give to them because they have given me so much. And so you're tired of constantly having to chase leads, having to make crazier offers, having to do so much marketing. It's because you haven't actually built a goodwill jar. You haven't actually dropped content, right? The best way to drop value is to drop content. And so I don't know if you're watching this video, if this aligns with you, but what aligns with my values and how I'd like to grow the company is I don't want a sleazy company. Like I don't want the fact that we got to sell every single second. And that to me is not what I want. It's not what I envision in my company. What I envision 5-10 years down the line is us having given so much value to the market that there's literally a line like this waiting for my content to drop, waiting for when we say, hey, we're going to open up doors to take on new clients. There's a line of clients wanting to work with us. We don't have to make a crazy guarantee. We don't have to be sleazy, but we come from authenticity and we come from value because we've done it. That's what we given to the market. And so this aligns with me. Number one, it aligns with my values, my brand, where I just want to provide as much service as possible. And number two, it provides real value to my audience and to the market. And that's what business is for. And that feels aligned. Like marketing, I realize marketing can feel aligned with what business is for, which is to provide value. And so if you could just keep that in the top of awareness, provide value in your marketing, in your sales, in your fulfillment, in your client management, in your client communication, with your team members, right? And just continue to ask, how can I add value? That's the purpose of business. Then that can rub off on your marketing. People feel that, people know that, and that's why people buy off of you, right? And if you don't know what to talk about, right, or you're just confused on where to start, just start with what is your market, your niche struggling with, right? What are they struggling with? And how can you help them, right? So to make videos to solve these things in the market. So if I was in a med spa niche, you could say how to use GHL for your med spa, how to close higher ticket deals in your med spa, how to never get a no-show in your med spa, how to train your front desk at your med spa, the best way to make profit in your med spa, live recorded 5K sale in med spa. There's so many different things that you guys can do, right? You just need to block out like a few hours, just 1 hour actually. Write down all the pain points that your niche goes through and then drop content around how you can solve those problems. All right, and that's exactly how you would provide value to your market. And they would watch that, and every time somebody would watch that, problem solution, you've already solved so many problems. By the time they hop on a call with you, they're ready to pay you because you've already helped them tremendously without even having to speak with them. That's the power of content. And just like this, guys, if you go over to how to close higher ticket sales in med spa, you could see all the examples, right? And so you want to drop content like this for your industry so that every time you get a lead, anytime you get anybody into your funnel, they're able to go through content, they're able to sell themselves, and you're actually able to provide value before they hop on a call with you. And that's how to set your agency apart in the long term, right? So to wrap everything up, stop pitching all the time, right? actually break down case studies, get obsessed with the way that you get results and document that process. Get very clear on your messaging and who you're targeting, right? Make content and start providing value. If you do these 5 things, I promise you, your agency will look way different in 6 months, right? Your marketing will have a way higher ROI. You'll be able to get more sales, and it should feel a way more at ease to grow your agency instead of having to be a forceful. If that's the way that you guys are feeling, because I know exactly what you guys have gone through, because I've gone through it as well, where I just feel like I was forcing. You know, in this company, the way that we're doing this is that we're taking this approach where we're just going to do content. We're going to focus on value. We're going to focus on giving, and serving, and doing the best that we can to serve our clients, to serve the market. And in exchange, we'll see what happens. But this, I can promise you guys, you can implement this. Let me know how that goes. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram. And again, if you're stuck between 10, 15, 20K a month and you want to scale past 50K a month and you want our help to set up this acquisition system and set up this process in your business, let me know. We're taking on one-on-one clients. This is me working one-on-one with your agency where we go in and we build it out with you. Let me know. There should be a link down below if you want to learn more. If not, totally fine. Shoot me a comment down below what video you guys want me to drop around acquisition in the agency space. If you're stuck between 10 to 30K a month and you want to get past 50, what is one thing that you're struggling with that I can record a video on? And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.